Okay, so we had Tony had a massive theory which I'm absolutely blown away by, and it makes so much sense.
I nerded a wee bit.
Yeah.
And I'm about to share this knowledge with you. Okay, so here's my projected story arc of the plot, of the characters, like in the drum roll. This is good. So, in the teaser trailer, from what we gather, we have Eddie Brock, Michelle Williams' character who's called Anne Weying, I believe her name. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm going to butcher every name in this thing.
That'd be a crazy twist if it was Gwen Stacy.
Ah, she look a bit like her, to be fair, but I think she was wearing a wig because of The Greatest Showman.
Yeah,
anyway, right, so my story arc is Eddie Brock. He is a war veteran, or just returned back from the war. Like, finds out he has a daughter, son, whatever. I personally don't think daughter because it makes more sense. And then the battle with Thanos and Spider-Man happens.
So in the MCU.
Inside the MCU, this theory. They have an accident, it splits off, divides, it ends up in San Francisco, kills a bunch of people. This in turn kills Anna Weying and Eddie Brock's child, thus causing a divorce. Now, Eddie Brock, being a journalist, is going to be like, I want to find out who killed my daughter, what happened, who's cleaning it up, what exactly is going on here, because I want someone to blame, I want someone to be angry at. He finds out that the Life Foundation are in control of this like clean up and the cover up. They're sort of using this time to like usher it away from the public eye.
Sorry, I'm a dog.
Yeah, good old Max. Not letting damage control, Tony Stark's clean up, not letting them deal with it. The Life Foundation said, no, it's in our jurisdiction, we'll clean it up, that's fine. Eddie Brock goes to the Life Foundation with a bunch of questions, and in the like released picture they did of Tom Hardy, if you flip the notebook over, it says Life Foundation. I was like, what does it do? And I think what he's doing is going there to expose it and use that information and power he has as a journalist to exploit the information and be like, so-and-so's this is what happened, this is done by so-and-so. And in that he finds out it's Spider-Man. And if they say, oh yeah, it was done by Spider-Man and Iron Man, he then has the instant grudge against Spider-Man, which is perfect for the story arc.
And it'll be even more perfect in the MCU as well, because I think besides like people knowing he's Spider-Man, and between like Peter Parker and all the like his like friends and his aunt and everything, he's just doing like, I think it's an apprenticeship or something.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just teenage stuff is, then there's the Tony Stark internship. And that could be like a build up to like life. And if Eddie Brock finds out that Spider-Man is the cause of his son or daughter, I'm going with daughter because I really like the idea of it being a daughter, of his daughter's death, it ties in within the trailer, and he says, a breakup, boom, that caused the breakup. An accident, boom, that's the accident. Spider-Man didn't mean to kill those people, but it happened. And that's...
It's exactly like in Civil War when they're talking about the massive... in Age of Ultron, when there's the whole massive discussion about Sokovia fell and killed people.
That's
it. It's the perfect add-up.
And it ties in so well with being a superhero isn't always necessarily a good thing. Like there is going to be collateral damage, and this is a byproduct of it, but you need to stand trial for your actions. And Eddie Brock finds out this, and in the trailer he goes, or a death, and they have that body on a table, and it's tiny. Like, if you look at it, there's like, he pulls back the sheet, but you can still see the feet, and it's a tiny little body.
At first I wasn't sure, and then I watched the trailer.
You watch the trailer back, you see
it was tiny.
It is, a tiny little body. So unless it's like just bones, or like it could be a brother or a family member or someone that would kill, but I'm going with the plausible kid theory. Because if you lose a kid,
darkness.
If you lose a kid, it's not going to do well for your relationship. You're not going to be like, oh, it's all sunshine and rainbows, we just lost a child. You're going to be upset, you're going to be deeply affected by it. So, but we went dark, but... so Eddie Brock, while snooping around the Life Foundation, finds or like accidentally breaks into the wrong place, and the symbiote recognises the anger, because the symbiotes in the comic books
is attracted to.
Yeah, they're attracted to things that are like weaker or like built up on one specific emotion, because they like bond with the host to protect them or enhance them.
It even happened in Spider-Man 3 when literally Eddie Brock was the other Eddie Brock.
Oh yeah, not the good Eddie Brock.
Was literally in a church praying that Spider-Man died. Or
that's
died.
it.
So, and then that's...
And it's the anger, and boom, straight away. So the symbiote then latches on to Eddie Brock, and he has this internal, almost suicidal battle with it, and then it destroys stuff, and in the trailer he's on that motorbike, maybe potentially escaping it, because you don't see what's behind him. And it could be Carnage, it could be the symbiotes, but in my personal opinion, I think it'd just be the symbiote destroying shit, trying to get back to Brock, and he's like, no, I can't have this, it's poison, it's Venom, so it's going to carry on attacking him. And then you've got the Life Foundation along with some description of police force going, all this shit has gone on, and then Eddie Brock maybe finds some solace with it, because the big push on we are Venom, Like, it is the battle for the two. So I think the first quarter of the movie will be establishing how he becomes Venom, and then like the half of the movie him having a bit of control over Venom. Then the last sort of like, you know, section of the movie, last third, or like or the last two quarters of the movie, him being Venom, and with the interlude of the Life Foundation being a big presence, and like them now being after him. You've got them running through the woods, you've got him escaping, you've got him, you know, living in exile for a bit, and then right at the very end he gets captured. So you have your big blowout, you have your, you know, Venom versus the Life Foundation, because it'd be cool to see Venom, a big burly Venom, big up a couple of soldiers, rip a couple in half, pull down a helicopter, you know, like how you have that contrast.
Yeah, like even doing a kind of a thing where it's not even, like, it's just like, in a way, like the webbing coming up the hand, like
that's
around a helicopter.
That's exactly it, like pulling it down. And you know, with Captain America, he's holding on to that helicopter, pulling it in. To have Venom, to show the scale of his strength, to have him just do that. Like, almost like Thanos with, like, supposedly him grabbing that moon, throwing it at Thor, like, have that, just boom, like, nope, not having this.
Thing is,
Venom's big, isn't
what I'd love so much as well, like you were saying about the helicopter thing, the thing is how badass I think it's going to be is where, for example, instead of it like being like Spider-Man's webs, where he'll just like, I don't know, spray or something, and then it will hit, say for example, hit like fast like propellers, it will just bounce off. I think all of this will actually somehow go past because it's stronger, like rip it down.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
That's a hand coming.
Yeah, his is more like organic than the artificially made Tom Holland Spider-Man webs, which are, you know, artificial and, you know, only do a certain amount of things, and they have the gadgets and all the tricks with the Stark technology on board. But with Venom, it's an alien, isn't it? So it's going to be. It kind of almost, I don't want to reference Green Lantern, but you know how he swings and he has the punch that follows through with it, and it'll be like a giant whip.
And like back in your point I'm saying about how it must kind of, how it's kind of possibly in the MCU is because Venom's feature itself, it's kind of based off Spider-Man's mask and Spider-Man's suit. Like, I mean, even if like they put in the bottom of the trailer at the end of it when the symbol of the face turning into a V, it's his like face. I mean, it's Spider-Man's face, but venomized.
Yeah.
So it kind of says that it's going for that look. They wouldn't put it in if it was like just Agent Venom.
There is too much like hypothesis and like creative similarity to Spider-Man for it not to be in the MCU.
Yeah.
Because also with it, you've got like.
And sorry, the guy who looked like Spider-Man in the trailer.
Oh yeah, well I was saying that. For a split second, you see the back of what's his name, Riz Ahmed's head, and for a split, literally 2 seconds, I went, "That's Peter Parker."
Tom Holland.
Yeah, like you see, it's very similar. Oh, it could have been Tobey Maguire. Like that could have been a thing.
Oh, that could.
Yeah.
Because, like I was saying a while ago, I was just saying, as much as like I know it's like been like years and years since like Spider-Man, that Sam Raimi Spider-Man phase, but I was thinking in my head, it's just. I want to see where Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's now, you know? I don't know where he is.
Even with Andrew Garfield, like,
such
if you take it a couple of decades in and they've been Spider-Man for a while, or they have like, he has a family, you know how they did with Hawkeye's like tangent off. You have, you've got the family, you've got this, you've got that, you've got reasons to be human and be less like showboaty as a superhero. It grounds them and it'd be perfect underlay for it.
If they didn't say, I mean, if they were saying that this is in the MCU, I wouldn't, and if like when it like builds up to it, because if it's a massive mystery at the moment. The thing is, what I'd love so much if, for example, they didn't, when they like build it up in the movie, where they didn't say if it was in the MCU, and maybe they give a tiny little reference so you kind of gather where.
That's it.
For example, it could come up on a TV screen like the Battle of Slovakia was like years ago, or maybe Aunt May is just walking past, and you're like, that's Aunt May. That has to be Tom Holland.
Or even because Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's based in San Francisco. You could have, like, from the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer, you know where they shrink that building down? On the news in the background, you could have so-and-so building today shrunk down to nothing.
Yeah.
Or it just disappeared.
Or Hank Pym.
Like anything. Pym Industries, something. Like some... Anyway, we've tangented off, as quite wonderfully we do. So the last section of the movie is Eddie Brock being arrested, him being thrown in prison, and him being in the cell next to Cletus Cassidy, played by Woody Harrelson, and then the closing couple of shots being the Venom symbiote, Eddie Brock sleeping or something, and the bit of the Venom symbiote drops out, joins the cellmate or goes into the cell across, whatever, attaches
to the anger, and
sees the hatred of Woody Harrelson because he's a serial killer, and then
that was rumored.
Latches onto him. Boom, you've got your Carnage, and then him being Carnage because he's the most powerful symbiote there is. The shockwave awakens the other 5 symbiotes, triggers Venom, and then with Peter Parker, you wouldn't have Spider-Man, you'd have Peter Parker, a civilian, in San Francisco, visiting, with a guilt-ridden Peter Parker, visiting the site of the accident, where he knows he was the cause of, like, I don't know how many people's deaths, and then he triggers his spider sense. You've got Eddie Brock, you've got Carnage, you've got your setup for your symbiotes, and you've got Spider-Man in San Francisco. Then you've got your interlude, and you've got your bridge into Venom 2, Spider-Man 2, Carnage standalone. Like, that's your MCU over here, your Sony Spider-Man universe.
And even like the fact of maybe this one's going for a darker tone. Maybe it could be in the MCU, but maybe the reason it's darker is because maybe this one, Spider-Man, is actually the reason for someone's death, and that's why it's darker.
And that's it. Like, you have the instant tone change from the Homecoming. He's just a kid. He's going through school. Oh, look, a girl he likes.
Cheesy. Her dad's the villain.
Yeah, that's it.
Spoiler alert.
Whereas, oh shit, yeah. But to have
I was about 2 years old now.
that, and then have the MCU, it's still like a branch off. It's a beautiful branch off, granted, and you still have all of that to play with, because there are elements of this that can breach over. Because if they bring in the Fantastic Four, if they bring in the X-Men, even if Stark decides to like investigate into symbiote technology, because if they have the bleeding edge armor in Avengers, which is looking very, very likely, it's not really been confirmed, but they have it in Black Panther, so if you have it in Avengers, it's going to make sense. And he could be looking at like, hold up, there's a Spidey like guy that can do what we do. Does he have our tech? No, he finds out it's an alien. He then goes, you know, we need to focus all of our efforts on the galactic side of things, and then boom, you've got Phase 4 of Marvel, which is all galactic based, isn't it?
Yeah, like, even with like, sorry, I've lost my words. Even with like saying that there's so many reasons how the symbiote could have got to Earth. It could even be from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's true.
It could be from Thanos' ship. It can literally be from anything. It could just even be a meteorite.
Yeah, a meteorite is probably the most likely.
What would be cool? What if it was attached to the Earth? Thanos pulled down in the trailer.
Oh,
that would be badass.
That would be working.
Because my theory that I had is in the leaked trailer, but this is like before the official trailer of Infinity War came out. You see Spider-Man on the floor going, I'm sorry. What if he dies, and the symbiote comes, attaches to him? Then maybe he goes kind of like a werewolf mode, where you don't know what's
like
going
a berserker
on.
Sort of mode,
berserker mode where you don't know what's going on. Then
which
you wake up next day.
would do.
And then that maybe in between that there's a secret which goes on, and then as soon as he gets
your
to
interlude of Venom.
Yeah, then that happens.
He comes back fully healed, and
because there's got to be a way.
Flicks a bit of time and fixes it all, but the symbiote still.
Because there's got to be a way. Because there's got to be a way he got this. I feel like there has to be a way how.
It started with Peter Parker. Like Peter Parker starts with the symbiote, so it makes sense if Peter Parker then delivers the symbiote.